Hi everyone, it's Jay from Mitosu Crafts. Thank you for joining me today for the Global Stampin' video hop with the theme of One Sheet Wonder. So today I'll be sharing with you two cards using 6x6 DSP pattern paper, and that design is from the Bright and Beautiful suite. The suite comes with the Beautiful Balloons stamp set and the matching dies as well that coordinates with the stamp images and some extra elements as well. The inks I'll be using are Berry Burst, Pretty Peacock, and Azure Afternoon. And I'll be using two card bases in Azure Afternoon and Fresh Freesia. So I'm going to do some stamping first for the balloons and sentiments. I'm going to stamp in the Azure Afternoon for the medium size balloon, and whilst that's drying I'm gonna stamp Berry Burst in the small balloon. And there's some small confetti details that you can add on as well. I'm just gonna do tone on tone stamping and add that on the right hand side twice, and there's a smaller one as well for the small balloons. Once that's dried, we can die cut, but I'll also stamp the sentiment. So one of the sentiment I'll be using is, I think it's time for a celebration, and I'll use Pretty Peacock. And just bring that down. Here you go. So I'll bring in the trimmer. I'll just trim that off and then we can die cut. So that one. Just a straight line and die cut this with the matching dies. So yeah, these products are from the new annual catalog 2023 to 2024, and it's available from 2nd of May 2023. So I'm just gonna cut these in. Hopefully that one should be fine. I'll do some more die cutting later because one of the elements that's in the set is stars. There we go. So for the DSP, I'm going to cut that. So it's 6x6, so I'll be working in inches today. I'm just gonna cut two small strips along the bottom at 3/8 of an inch twice, or that is 1 centimeter. So that can decorate the inside of the card. Turn that over. If your DSP is orientation specific, you can make sure that this one is the kind of like right way up. And I'm just gonna cut that at 2 1/4 or 5.7. Then at I'll go back to those in a second. I'm gonna turn this anti-clockwise, and I'm gonna cut 1.5 from the top and the bottom, or that is 3.8 centimeters. So that's the top, turn it over, and that's the bottom, 1.5. And it's quite easy with this one. It's a nice design, so you can see where it starts or where it ends. All right, put that aside. And for this one, we're just gonna turn that 90 degrees anti-clockwise and cut at 2 inches. And then do the same for the small piece. So turn it anti-clockwise 90 degrees, 2 inches, or that's 5 centimeters. And we have panels. Now you can ink blend and change this up, but for this one I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to start off with the Azure Afternoon. So this one is 8.25 by 5.5, folded in half at 4/1/8 of an inch. This design shouldn't really matter what size your card base is, I don't think, but that's just going to go in. So the only offcut that we'll have is that tiny little bit there. So I'll just get Tombow, or use whatever is your favorite adhesive. Ooh, I'll go that way. Let's change it up. And just make sure that that is straight. And then snip off the excess. So with the paper snip, just rest that on the card edge and then guide that to cut your excess. I'm just going to use a bone folder just to make sure that that is done. Also, I won't have matte and layer for this one, so I'm just going to do it that way. So you can have it like so, or you can turn it over and have different patterns. So you can flip it and have different pattern. So for this one, I don't actually have any decoration so far. So what I'm gonna do, as I mentioned earlier, is the star die cut. So I'm gonna add a star there. We're independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrators based in the UK, so if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, Netherlands, Belgium, or Ireland, you'll be able to purchase current Stampin' Up! Products from our online shop. So we can just have that there, and the other two down, up, top, like so. So we can bring that up. So stick that down with adhesive. I'm just eyeballing it. You can use your grid. So I'm just gonna go edge to edge, or use our ruler for the bottom one, so you know that it is straight. I believe this is actually wider than my original, so I'll double check my measurement. So before I stick that down, I'm just gonna place that where I want it, and I'm gonna stamp another sentiment, which is Yeyu, in the center, and I'll use Pretty Peacock again. Right, I'll just bring that in. So quite a simple idea. to use up DSP, and I'm just gonna prop that up with dimensionals. So that is my first card. So quite simple. I'll decorate that in a second. And the next one, we have the fresh freezer. And bring this in. So yeah, so that one is correct. I believe this one I cut in 1¼ instead of 1½. So that should really be wider, because the idea is when that you can lay it down like so, so it still matches and it will have the same frame. So I did cut that wrong, but I'm going to change it up. So if you do make a mistake like I did, you can just rearrange it and make it look like it was meant to be. So for this one, I'm gonna go edge to edge. Again, you can ink blend this particular DSP. So edge to edge on the top and the bottom. It's got a tiny bit of a lip there because our A4 is just over 8¼ of an inch, but I don't mind that. It's actually better to open the card. And this one, we're gonna prop up. So have that coming in and have that coming in. Yeah, that works. So I'm just lining it up with the design, but I think that's fine. Cool, so that is done. So I'm just gonna prop that up with dimensional. So this one, so it's got larger sides, but I'm just gonna go with it, and that one is there. And for the decoration, did I die cut? Yes. I'm just gonna bring that in underneath. So quite, again, simple, but it has dimension with the different design. And with the, I'm just bring that in, cut that up. So trim that in. I'm just using that as a guide, eyeballing it at the edge of the sentiment. And for the embellishment, I have the tinsel gems. So I'll bring in the other one. Here we go. And what have we got? We'll do the Haitian, or was it Pretty Peacock? This one, tinsel gems. And a big one along the bottom here. And for this one, we'll go with Blueberry Bushel. Here we go. Here are my two cards. This one I did add two more balloons on the bottom in Bubble Bath and Blueberry Bushel, and I flattened my sentiment. I also finished it up with the strip of DSP on the inside. I did do two more cards using another bundle, Wonderful Thoughts bundle. So all sentiment and the coordinating dies. So no more fussy cutting. So as you can see here, I've actually labeled every single die cut, every single dies to match every single sentiment. So it's just a quick reference guide, so you can easily pick off the stamp and then pick off the sentiment. So I hope you like that tip. And here are my cards. So this one I put in a landscape orientation. So this one is actually the correct size and it gave me a square center. So the demonstrated piece that was cut is wider, but it doesn't matter again because from that card you'll never know that it was cut differently. It still has equal distance on the center there in on either side, and top and bottom there. And my second card is this one, so I've just used a die cut and the sentiment on the center there. And again, I did jumble up the design, but thankfully the DSP is quite abstract, so it doesn't matter. And also that one is the correct width, so that one is slightly wider and this one is slightly thinner. But I hope you enjoy the idea. So something simple and abstract, or jumble up your DSP. Check out the description below for the product links as well as the next video link in the hub. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time, bye!